Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dental Podcast from Denplan. My name's Tom, and I'll be your host today. If this is your first lesson, let me explain what we really do here. We're here to share clinical, informative, and educational information regarding the dental industry and our business, and also to allow us to pull the curtain back and show a little bit more about us in the business and who we are, what we do, and how we sort of get to where we want to be. This week, I'm joined by a colleague who I used to share a team with. It's Carina Shaw, who's our Senior Practice Marketing Consultant. Hi, Carina.
Hi, Tom.
How are you doing today?
Yes, fine. It's a lovely day.
It's lovely,
sunny.
Isn't it? Taking a big change.
Beautiful. And in my office, I can look out and I just see the sun and all the cherry blossoms and everything. It's lovely.
Oh, marvelous. So could you sort of tell us a little about yourself and what you do here at Denplan?
Yes, I've been with Denplan now for almost 10 and a half years. And before that, I was the product manager for Astrotech Implants. And before that, I worked for Noble Biocare, also with with implants. So my background is very much dental, both here and in Sweden, where I'm from.
Fantastic.
Originally.
So when did you move over from Sweden?
Long time ago. I moved over around 2000.
Oh, wow.
Say. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I've been here for a long time. So
well settled in now.
Yeah, well settled in.
So could you? You're a senior practice marketing executive.
Consultant.
Senior practice marketing consultant. My apologies.
Could
you explain, for the audience who may be unfamiliar, what your role is?
So my role is to support our member dentists and dental team with marketing advice and campaign planning, and also sort of overall help them to grow and see, try to get them to educate their teams in order for them to all work together in order to attract more patients, and then obviously mainly Denplan patients.
Fantastic.
So that is what I'm there for.
Oh, great. So when you have these meetings, could you sort of talk me through a typical meeting about sort of how it would go, how somebody would sort of get in contact with you, and how we'd go from there?
Yeah. So it's the practice own Denplan consultant who will contact me, because they have then discussed with the practice and they know that the practice want to grow. It might be that they want to attract more patients, or it might be that they're losing patients, so they need help with retention. And what happened then is that we order something called an Acorn patient profiling report. It's a big report, a geodemographic. A big company called CICI is what we're using. So anyone with any business could order one of these, but it's worth quite a lot of money, but that is included as part of our team members membership. So I will get that. I will sort of see what kind of patients do they have, what kind of potential patients are they in the local area, and from that I obviously get as much information as possible from the consultant. I then write down quite a comprehensive initial marketing ideas document. And once at the practice, I normally see the principal dentist, practice manager. Sometimes they might have an associate there as well, together with our consultant. And I normally start with asking, obviously what they like to achieve with the practice. Have they done any marketing before? And if so, how did it go? And then I will start with going through the Acorn report to explain, because it's quite a comprehensive report, to get them to understand how they can use it, what kind of potential patients do they have in the area. And then I will start going through my initial ideas document. So I don't go through all of it, but I discuss what I think would be most useful for them to do. For example, they might want to, they have quite aging Denplan patient list, and they would like to attract younger professionals. Sometimes they're lucky, because in the Acorn report, I can see they are quite a lot of the younger professionals in there. However, sometimes if I am in Torquay, that might not be the same way, and then like it's nothing we can do because it's a more retired area down there. So we go through then what particular would attract that kind of target group. So that's what we do with the meeting.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. So this is all covered within Denplan itself as well, isn't it?
It is.
Without getting too salesy. This is something that we cover. It's fairly unique to us as well, from what I believe.
It is very unique, and obviously, if they pay for a consultant to come out, someone like me, they would pay quite a lot of money if they're not on Denplan. And the meetings I try to keep them for 2 hours. If the dentist can take out 2 hours, it's brilliant. Sometimes they take out less, and then they realize that it's too interesting.
They need some more time.
And they wait. Yeah, exactly. Because once, it's quite comprehensive, so it will take time.
Yeah.
And then after the meeting, obviously, I take notes what we discussed, and I would then write a follow-up report.
Yeah.
What we particularly discussed, and then I will write in red what kind of information I need from the dentist should he or she like me to go ahead with the various things we have discussed.
So obviously, like elephant in the room, with what's happened with COVID over the last 18 months, that's obviously going to have had a huge effect on our practices and all dental practices across the country. But how has that affected how you would work? Because I mean, obviously, you could no longer go into practices, so that's definitely going to have a fairly dramatic shift in your work. It did.
What we did was we still did the Acorn report and my initial ideas. Then I have to send everything to our print room. They have to send it out, copy to me, copy to consultant, and to the practice. And then what we did was to book virtual meetings.
Okay.
And that is it's face-to-face meetings are amazing. Video meetings not so. It's very difficult because the dentist might have those documents or sorry, I left them at home. So then that is out. So I have to try to see if I can share my screen, which is never ideal because I can't really see them when I'm sharing, and I need to, we all need to have that kind of response and things like that. And they maybe not have access to they might just have their mobile phone and they put it somewhere in the practice and you saw part of them. And the video, the sound was not amazing. You always have this, slight delay.
Yeah.
And sometimes the picture froze. So it was a challenge. It really was a challenge. But I've had a lot of positive response. At least they thought it was a benefit for them.
Well, I was going to say the same thing. I work in comms, and we understand that, we've had a lot of positive feedback as well, understanding that people are enjoying the fact that they can still communicate with us. And it means a lot to sort of maintain that relationship, because it can't be easy. As much as a lot of us have been struggling at Denplan, we all work from home now. And as you can see, I'm not in an office, but it's the way the world works now. But I think having that connection has been really, really important to some people, especially within a practice environment where they might have gone from seeing dozens of people a day to none.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to one or two.
And obviously our Denplan practices are extremely grateful because these patients have kept them going because with the monthly payments they do, and so they really appreciated that they had the patient Denplan list. But when they started again, there was a lot of things they needed help with. They obviously they have a backlog of patients, but it was also an opportunity for them to attract new patients because especially as we saw NHS patients have problems to access the practice because there was such a backlog, and our practice were able to offer our maintenance plan essentials, which was sort of affordable so we could help to promote that for our member practices, and that had worked really well.
Oh, fantastic! No, it's good to hear it's hearing it from different sides. I'm very much internally based, so I'll hear things from one way and not the other. But it's good knowing that sort of on the coalface, so to speak, you're still getting that positive feedback, and knowing that the patients are being helped as much as the practices.
Yeah, and what I saw that what worked the best was the practices who actually communicated with the patients during the lockdown.
Yeah,
to use the social media platforms to just have short videos, where friendly videos, maybe from the hygienists, from the nurses, just to say, hello, we really miss you, but we're still here, just give us a ring. And they came up with little session in how could the patient take care of the teeth during the lockdown, make sure you do floss and you brush. And that's they have been very successful, those practices, because patients felt really worried. They didn't know if they were there, and can we call you? So I really encouraged them to do that, and to have maybe Zoom meetings with the patients, just for the patients to talk to them, to see them.
Yeah, that's going to be assuring as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going back to more about your role rather than the epidemic, the pandemic that's happened. So what is it that you sort of find most rewarding about your role?
It is to go out to see the practices, to be able to support them with everything, with the marketing, the campaigns, and see the appreciation of it. I absolutely love it. And because I'm all over the country, I see so many teams, and so different teams, from little, maybe single surgeries to big fancy clinics, and it's I really appreciate that. And afterwards, when they found it really, really useful, that is such a reward, I must say. So
perfect. That's good to know as well.
Yeah. I suggest all the marketing after our meetings, quite a lot of work come back to me, because they like, and if they like almost everything I said, then it's a lot of work coming back, which I then brief into our design studio.
Yeah.
To help them, everything from social media posts to, it could be flyers or posters, or so it's
also our Simply Select platform as well, which is not one thing to ever be sort of sniffed at either.
No, that is really good. And as I say, our colleague Hannah has done a really great job with that, and it's so much easier to use it. It's very clearly labeled, different kind of. I wrote quite a lot of booklets during the first lockdown when I couldn't do anything, and we have uploaded those onto that as well, so practices can just download them. Everything from TikTok and Instagram stories, social media for dental practices, to marketing for different generations. I've written a lot of these, so it's hopefully helpful. So I hope practices take advantage and then download them. And
absolutely, and it's such fantastic stuff as well that we've, I used to work in practice marketing team, so I used to make the sort of the materials for Simply Select, and used to help out with the practices as well. But we've come so far since then, and it's so amazing to sort of see this stuff change from 1 year to the next, or from 2 years to the next even. But sort of saying about how the sort of things where we've come from and where we've been. Where do you see things changing in the future for sort of dentistry? Do you think there is going to be a sort of a change to how things work now that sort of COVID has moved on, or sort of the operating procedures into sort of the business operating procedures, should I say? Do you think there would be a big change there?
I think they always had a very good system in place, and I think what they're probably going to keep is this the air cleaners. These days take down. There used to be an hour they have to wait between patients. Many practices now are down to 10 minutes.
Oh, amazing.
And I think that will continue. They've always been very clean in practices. Masks have always been used, so that is and gloves. But hopefully they can get rid of the huge kind of things they have to read. Yeah, so if they can remove those things, and they probably think a bit how they operate, how they kind of maybe how to change the waiting room, maybe just have a slightly more social distancing, just to make 100% sure. But I think with all of them are vaccinated, by the way, practices, and more of us, of course, going almost towards 40 million now, isn't it? It's
I've
amazing.
had my first, so I'm very lucky.
Me too. Yeah, I'm so grateful and lucky, and I have a second one in June.
Same.
So
Same.
yeah.
I was very, very fortunate. What was your favorite thing that you've ever worked on? Is there anything that stands out, or is there a sort of a type or something that's really, really stood out for you in your career?
Or in my career overall?
Career at Denplan, shall we say?
Denplan. Because I would say one thing that was, I did a presentation on a big champion event a couple of years ago, and I talked about how to plan campaigns and everything. And in the end, we did kind of a competition. So of all the teams there, if they wanted to join, the one that created the best campaign would win £100 Love to Shop vouchers. And the practice who won was amazing. She loved everything I did, everything I said. She followed everything. She filled in, because I've done kind of, what do you want to achieve, and the target group and timeline, everything like that. She used those templates and she filled in everything, and they gave themselves 2 months to attract 30 new Denplan patients. And we did lots of things. She had social media, she did promotion in the practice, she contacted estate agents, loads of things. And the principal dentist supported them as well, and said, for every Denplan patient you sign up, we give £5 towards the pot. And in the end, they managed to actually attract 62 new patients. So more than double what they wanted. Yeah. And so it was amazing. So me and their consultant, Julie, went to them and gave them the vouchers, and we bought a bottle of champagne. And Julie has been there during the time as well to, encourage them, and popped even some cakes, and that was amazing. And when I spoke to the practice manager, she said, why it was such a success was that everyone was involved. The whole team worked together. And that is just proof, which I always said, if you work together, then it works. But you can't have, some people not being involved.
No.
So I would say that is probably one of the things that really, really stood out.
No, I completely agree. That sounds fantastic. It's always good to hear sort of a victory story as well, because especially when you put in the amount of work, and you were saying Julie as well. So everybody coming together. So the rising tide lifts all ships. Like I like to say, is if everyone's in this together, we all rise together. So I think it's really important, especially during this times as well. Yeah,
absolutely, totally agree. Well, I'm so pleased. I'm so happy to be out again.
I'm so glad.
Full of energy.
I can't imagine the difference in how it's sort of worked from before until now. I mean, I've always been an office-based person, so going from an office to a home office hasn't been a dramatic shift, but it's been tough at times. But I can only imagine the difference between being on the road and being at home all the time.
The positive thing was that I managed to write all these booklets, which I wanted to do for a few years, but there was no time, because obviously it's a lot of research and everything. So that I'm very happy with. So at least there is something that was good.
Yeah, that's great. Well, if everyone can find you on TikTok, I presume now, and I think you're going to be an expert.
Yeah, my 14-year-old, she tried to get me. I'm forced to do some TikTok with hers as well. So she said, I can do it. We can do this. It's not hard. It's not so fast. So you can do it. Oh, yeah. It's, it's quite fun, actually.
Oh, perfect. Well, thanks, Carina, and thank you for sort of taking the time to talk to us today. And,
My
just
pleasure.
for everybody back home, this is something that we're going to be doing a bit more of these, sort of shining a spotlight on some of our fantastic team and some of our staff. So, yeah, I'm delighted to introduce Carina, or reintroduce Carina, as the second in our Spotlight series following from events. And if you need any help, how can practices get in contact with you, Carina, if they'd like to?
The best thing is to contact their own Denplan consultant.
Sure.
And talk to them first and see what they want to achieve and what they want to do, and then they will contact me.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again, Carina, and thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.